Welcome to the Good Place Marionville Podcast, dedicated to highlighting the good happening right here in Marionville.
Today's episode will continue our commitment to showcase the goodness in Marionville, uniting our community through shared stories of hope and optimism. So let's cover some of the good this week.
You know, it's the week of the 35th Annual Applefest starting tomorrow night with the community-wide church service all the way through Saturday night fireworks. So we hope everyone's warming up their appetite and blocked your calendars off to celebrate our town and all of the visitors that will be walking the square this weekend. To help us with today's podcast, we're joined by Pastor Jim Gerhold from the Marionville Assembly of God. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. It's kind of fun doing this with you, and thank you for bringing me on.
Well, we are so happy to have you. And actually, there are several things going on in Marionville that you're actually a part of this fall.
Yes.
So throughout today's episode, we're going to be deferring to you for a lot of those details.
Good.
So in city updates, I want to thank everyone for their patience this week with our City Hall staff as they've been at their annual training seminars down in Branson. And, they do that so that they can better serve our community. So we're grateful for the investment of their time to better their knowledge for us.
And congratulations to our very own Kris Bowling on becoming a certified municipal official. Kris has been preparing and studying for this certificate for a couple of years. Job well done, Kris.
Way to go, Kris. At last week's Alderman meeting, there were many citizens that came out in attendance and a lot of detail that we have to report. So, Jim, let's just go through it quick.
The citizens came to support ideas and bring new ideas to the leadership, like a community garden.
Yes, and the town was encouraged that if we're going to attract a future grocery store, the residents need to get behind it and actually shop there. So keep that in mind as we are just hoping and reaching out and maybe get a grocery store back in Marionville.
And if you're shopping at a grocery store near here, please let them know. We'd love to have you move to Marionville. Just find out the name of the manager and get it to Martha. Just email us at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. Martha's been schmoozing with a lot of store managers and store owners all over Southwest Missouri. The Economic Development Committee will bring a new report to the November meeting of the Alderman, and we're meeting on the fourth Thursday of every month at Central Place. You're always welcome to attend, just to stand by and watch. We've got 9 people really focused on what are we doing in order to be able to help bring more flourishing to Marionville.
And like Jim said at the beginning, there was a community garden that was actually proposed at this last week's Alderman meeting. And they were encouraged to talk with the park board about the details. And their intent is to include the school and library in garden education as a part of this process.
Comments were made that we need to bring business to town. If anyone's interested in thinking about this, please reach out to us. goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. We'd love to talk to you.
And of course, in the meeting, it was well noted that Applefest is coming, and that's the theme of our show today.
And there's also a brand new huge white squirrel on the square in the gazebo. The gazebo was maintained recently. Brush was dumped. Dogs were captured and brought to their owners. But there's still a lot of cats running around town. If you'd like to adopt one of our downtown cats, just come on down and pick one up.
Take a pick. There were also many citizens that brought up concerns about speeding through town and the lack of sidewalks. And, just to be honest, we don't have a fund for building sidewalks everywhere people need them. But it was discussed in how we could maybe help to get the speeding to reduced and people taking better care of that.
Yeah, and we're working with the Economic Development Committee. We'll be able to apply for grants for sidewalks and roads, and that's just to be continued to be determined. It'll take some time. The lot size motion did not pass at the local Alderman meeting last week and will remain the same, 75 by 100 for all new lots. Any old lot sizes that are already grandfathered in, they don't change at all.
And again, we just discussed more about the managing of speeds, the reasons we don't have speed bumps, which we really learned. One of those.
Just use your gas pedal lightly. That's how you maintain speed.
And stay off the phone when you're driving through town. It's dangerous.
That's right. There's a reason there's not more speed bumps around town to slow people down is because it makes it really hard for the fire department to get places quickly because they have to practically stop to go over those bumps. Otherwise, the truck will go skyward.
I thought that was a really good education, Jim, because a lot of people wouldn't ever consider that being part of the reason. What else was there?
Liquor licenses were discussed, and also issues of people burning trash in town and it smells. You're allowed to have a fire burning wood during the day, but not burning your trash. That's what we have garbage collection for. Contact dispatch at 417-316-6006 for concerns of people burning trash in town.
And lastly, there was the conversation about maybe another citywide cleanup day to help spread citizen involvement and help our neighbors in the process.
Last time we filled 4 40-yard dumpsters. Just, you could do a little bit of that every week inside your own little dumpster that the garbage man
Takes
picks
a little
up.
initiative.
That's right. How about school news, Martha?
That was a lot of city news.
It was.
Thank you for that. But in the school news, this last week was homecoming, and we are very excited, even though the weather was a little damp. The Comets won. And, I saw the whole team wearing the Bank of Billings shirts that honored Jeff Norris. And in case people didn't notice on that T-shirt on the sleeve, the angel wings were actually shaped like Jeff's mustache. So shout out to Bank of Billings for their creativity and the way they honored Jeff this past week.
Remember that whenever there is a home game like this coming Friday night, students can attend fifth quarter at First Baptist Church here in town. It's a great time of food, fun, and purpose. And band boosters, just keep this in mind, caramel apple booth at the square to support the band, $4 for caramel apples and $1 for additional toppings. And they'll also have fresh apple cider.
All right. So Pastor Jim, are you a purist? Do you like the caramel just only on your apple, or do you like toppings?
I like a little nuts on it.
Okay.
And I like it where it's dripping.
Nice.
I like it set up, where you can still kind of.
Nice.
little
Nice.
yeah.
Wired here. Everybody be ready for that.
Wear the bib,
So, and the other thing in school news is that, remember, on September 25th at 7:30 in the morning at the high school, it is the See You at the Pole. This is a time for students to gather together to pray for their school, their friends, and for our community.
In our country.
There's
Holy
a
smokes,
there's a limit to the
Yeah.
things you can pray about, but the focus is, right there at your school. So encourage your teens to attend that. All right, Jim, let's talk about first responder news. What have you got for us this week?
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up what happened last night on Facebook, courtesy of our police chief. Police Chief West had way more fun last night looking for a wanted criminal than anybody ever deserves. In fact, I think, Martha, that guy's name was Austin that the police were looking for. And Austin had a good time responding to the police chief and the police department with 918 interactive posts on just one police department post. Thank you, Wes Coatney, for really making it enjoyable as you chase down criminals.
But bottom line, he is where he needs to be. I think they offered him this extended stay at this place that he is now in.
Oh.
So
That's right.
you can read all the posts to learn more.
Austin, thanks for making our evening enjoyable. And also keep in mind that Marionville Firefighter Auxiliary is being formed. This is a nonprofit organization to benefit the fire department and first responders here in Marionville that work on fire and medical response calls. We haven't ever had a 501c3 supporting our activities, giving extra money for training and equipment and things like that, and even rewards. Let's say somebody serves for 30 years in the fire department. There's never been any kind of reward for anybody doing volunteer work. The Marionville Firefighters Auxiliary will be that place. We need your help getting it set up. We need some money to raise some money to get set up.
How are you going to do that, Jim?
So the fire department is having a duck race on the spring at the park at Applefest at 4:00 on Saturday to fundraise for this fundraising organization, the Auxiliary. Buy your tickets at City Hall before Applefest or the Bank of Billings ahead of time. $10 a duck. There's only 300 ducks. We need to raise $3,000. The first prize wins $500. Second prize, $200. Third prize, $100. And all the rest of the money is going to go towards legal fees to set up our 501c3 for the Marionville Firefighters Auxiliary. Please get your duck. It's going to be amazing. And if, in fact, the spring is not moving real fast, we may add water and some wind.
Don't worry. The firefighters have that all taken into account.
Everything will be just ducky, right? Yeah. Oh, man.
All your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's another one.
That was bad. Don't ever.
To our nonprofit news.
Jim Gerhold from Marionville Assembly of God. This is where we want to spend a few minutes talking with you about who you are and what God has you doing in Marionville.
We've been in Marionville about.
You're supposed to wait for the question, Jim.
That's okay. He
I'm
can just
sorry.
take it from there. He's a
There it is. Yeah, I'm used to talking.
Okay, yeah.
It's hard for me to sit and not talk.
Right,
Just
so
use
let's
my
start
hands,
with
too.
this.
Okay.
Let's start with this. Tell us personally about yourself, about your
Okay.
family, your
Okay.
wife, kids, whatever, just so we know more about you as a person.
Okay. Oh my goodness. We have moved several times. We have been in Marionville for 6 years now.
Okay.
In that, we love it here. We love what's going on in the community, and good to have you guys aboard on the community.
So
Things are
who's your
going on.
wife?
My wife's name is Kathy. She is a wonderful wife. She loves secretarial work. She does the books at the church. She's a designer,
What
wonderful
kind of designer? Like
She designs anything.
clothing, buildings?
Well, I'm-
We're talking about
Graphics.
print, graphics.
So I'm going to talk about it later in
yeah.
the show, but Kathy is actually responsible for
She
the
is.
beautiful Marionville Applefest booklet that we produce every year. So I'll give the shout out now to you, Kathy.
In fact, I'll
Thank
brag
you.
on her a little bit because she just did the last album for Terry McCallum, one of the great worship leaders of our time across the nation. And so I'm very happy with that. And
How many kids you got?
we have one. We have probably 2 or 3 what we call adopted kids. But
Yep.
we have one bloodline, and he works for Air Masters. He's designer. He does everything for him. He does the web. And so I guess that's kind of passed down to him.
Yeah.
Any grandkids yet?
No, we have one actually, and she's 21. Oh my goodness, hard to believe I got a grandkid 21.
Which part was the answer? You said no, and then you said yes.
Well,
one.
it's just hard for me to believe that, we were laughing the other day. It's hard to believe that I have a son that's in his 50s.
Yes.
That's terrible.
That just,
50s aren't so bad.
yeah.
So
but,
you made the comment that you've been in Marionville for 6 years.
Yes.
Have you always been a pastor?
Yes, primarily. We were in our national office for several years, in a national level of overseeing.
Which is in
children's
Springfield,
ministry.
right?
Yeah, which is right. Yeah, the holy city. But we were there for about 4 years. I did all the video production. I approved all the new books, and I oversaw children's ministries there.
Awesome.
And it was great
All
responsibility.
right. So when you're not delivering a great sermon on Sunday and doing all your city work, because we know you're heavily involved, doing a lot of
Yes,
volunteer stuff in the city,
we are.
including being involved in the Marionville Ministerial Alliance. What's one of your favorite? What do you do for fun? What's your favorite pastime or hobby?
You'll laugh at this because I'm anxious to be here with you guys today to watch what you're doing because I love video editing. I've never done this type, but we've done a lot of commercials. We do 1-minute spots for missionaries. We do different churches have done different things, and we've helped them.
Might have done the Applefest promo video, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Primarily photos, but
Yep.
we do.
Awesome.
And that's part of my responsibility for the Applefest.
Well, maybe next year we can do full video.
I would love that.
Oh,
I
let's
would
do
love
it.
Well,
that.
we're going to talk a little bit more about your involvement with the Applefest in a little bit, but let's talk quickly about your church.
Okay.
The Marionville Assembly of God
Love to do
is
that.
hosting a marriage conference.
Adventures in Marriage 2-day conference, November 8th and 9th.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And
tell us
it's-
about that. Is it just for people that are members of your church?
No, we're working through the Ministerial Alliance,
Okay.
and it's all the churches coming together. Our vision is every 6 months put together a something vital for our community. The next one we've already got targeted. We're calling it Parent ID, and it's about discipling your kids using good discipline, how to work them through issues.
Well, that's the next one. That'll be March, right?
That'll be in March.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about this marriage conference that's coming up November 8th and 9th.
I'm calling it a week of tweak because
A week of
tweak because there's a lot of people who have been married a long time. Kathy and I have been married 52 years.
She
going on
called and said,
53.
want to make sure you were going to be in attendance because there was some tweaking still to be done, even after 52
There's
years.
always tweaking to be done.
There's always, I looked at the curriculum before we booked it.
Mhm.
Dane Corbett, the president with the Ministerial Association, as we looked at it, I liked the new concepts that comes right out of Focus of the Family,
Mhm.
which, is quality stuff. And that's where they originated. And they were cut loose because Jim Daly, who's over Focus of the Family, said, we're holding you guys back from something bigger.
Mm.
And now it has just really grown.
A lot of people get signed up.
I'm going to put
Oh,
the
man.
link in the show notes, Jim.
Oh my goodness. I see
MarriageMinute.org.
marriageminute.org. Thank you.
Is
Boy,
where
you're
you
ahead of me.
go, but I'll have all of that in the link, and so that people can find.
But if they
Where
want to just call the
actually
office and
register?
sign up, can they call your church office?
It would be better to go through their webpage.
So marriageminute.org. All right.
And it's
so you're also-
$149. and that's per couple, and that includes their book, all materials, lunch, the whole ball of wax.
Awesome.
Lunch 2 days or lunch 1 day?
It's lunch on Saturday. Friday night is the opening session.
Got it.
Get to know each other, kind of some serendipity. That's an old term, isn't it? Boy.
Serendipity?
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Serendipity. That's a 5-syllable word. We don't allow 5-syllable words.
I know.
It might have to be a different episode.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're also involved in the Marionville Ministerial Alliance. I got to attend the last meeting. I hope I get invited back. You never really know as the chaplain of the fire department. So what's the mission of the Marionville Ministerial Alliance?
We have come together. We have new leadership. Dane Corbin is our president. I'm vice president. John stayed on as
John
kind of
Kahn.
the treasurer. Yeah, John Kahn. And then Mark Wallen came on as our
What's the mission?
communications
Why?
person.
Why does it exist?
We want to affect our community. That's the bottom line. That's why we're doing, that's why I got involved with Applefest. That's why we're doing the marriage deal. And coming up in October, we've got another citywide thing. We want to affect our community because we are in the middle of a crisis with families. And Marionville has a lot of families.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. So the October 12th, there is,
Wait a minute. How about tomorrow night?
okay, let's talk about tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night for Applefest.
And then we'll
Yes.
talk about the community event on October 12th, because there's a lot happening, but very exciting about the church community service tomorrow night.
Last year, Dana and I were talking about what would really help the churches to be involved more with Applefest. And I said, we got to take ownership in our community. We have 4 ministers who are on the Applefest committee. And so we came up with the idea of having a citywide service, includes everybody. Anybody wants to come, we'll have a great time. In fact, you guys are going to introduce your ministry there.
Yes.
We've got you'll see some new faces. The new pastor, Brian at First Baptist. All kinds of good things are happening. And so we want everybody to come together and realize we're all in this together. There's no denomination signs on this.
Amen.
Nobody's going to say, hey, you got to do this, do that.
Right.
Amen.
And so that's kicking off Applefest tomorrow night, 6 p.m.
Yes.
at the square. Bring your chairs.
Yes, everybody has to bring their own
It will
chair.
be light when you get there. It'll be darkish when we're done, but it'll be a great time gathering together. Martha, there's another event coming up on October 12th at the Pickleball Warehouse.
Yes.
sponsored by the
Yeah.
I am
Ministerial
really
Alliance.
excited about
So I'm
this.
gonna put
Share
this-
with
Yes.
When you see this around town,
That's right.
tell us just one thing that you're hoping that the listeners hear, Jim, as far as why they should come.
It's geared towards family. Just like Applefest, one of the reasons I'm on that committee is that we need more genuine, fun, clean, wholesome places where families can come and enjoy each other and enjoy other families, get to know other people in their community.
Yes.
That's what the main thing of this one is. And then plus we're going to give out some gift boxes with food for some needy families. Fire department's there. I mean, it's you name it. We're going to have games, pickleball courts are going to even have a pickleball thing going. It's just,
Excellent.
they have been wonderful with
Never
this,
been-
by the way.
Bring your families, bring your neighbors, attend on
Yes.
October 12th.
October 12th, free food, free fun from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Pickleball Warehouse. Make sure that you're there. In other nonprofit news, let's highlight a few things happening at the Ozark Manor. Ozark Manor will be having 10 golf carts in the parade and a bubble party for the parade.
Yeah, I don't know those details, but you better come to the parade to find out more.
I want to bring an umbrella if it's a bubble party.
They're also having a really neat fundraiser for the month of September. September is Alzheimer month, and so the manor lawn is decorated with pinwheels that honor people that have been affected by the disease or memory loss. Each pinwheel has a name on it. You can buy them for $5, and you can call the phone number. I'll put it in the link, 417-258-2573.
Also, October 25th, also in the Manor News, the FCCLA students will be heading over there to carve pumpkins for the grounds at Manor for Halloween. They'll be placed all around the Manor and light up for the kids for Halloween. All right. Now, today's podcast episode is sponsored, of course, by the Bank of Billings. We're so grateful for their partnership. We love to look better with age. We all love to look better with age. And the Bank of Billings wears their age well. That's because they're 135 years old and they look brand new. In fact, they look brand new here in town. Bank of Billings is a community bank, and it's banking at its best. Bank of Billings, we are so grateful for your presence in our community and the way you serve our citizens so well. Thank you for sponsoring this Good Place Marionville podcast. Just remember, they're a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Hey, Martha, Pick and Patch opening day, Friday, September 20th through October the 31st.
Yeah, I just want to remember our citizens remind you to go to the Storehouse Bakery for your breakfast or your special treats. And Pastor Jim, I just want to know, what's your favorite thing to eat at the new bakery?
Well, I'm being real careful because I've lost 60 pounds in the last
I think I found
6
a
months.
couple of those.
That's awesome.
And
Where did you lose those? Because I've been picking them up. You must have left some downtown here.
oh, we love those lemon-filled. Oh my goodness, they just melt in your mouth.
Lemon-filled
Right.
what?
They're kind of a croissant, and they're just pumped
They
full
have
of lemon.
gooey, lemony stuff in.
And it
But
just
you can also get
Ooh, yeah,
sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches
Yeah,
there. You can. I mean,
yeah.
they got real food there, not just
or
everything.
coffee if you want it.
Coffee.
Yeah,
Coffee.
yeah.
All right, but do they have Mountain Dew? You have to bring your own Mountain Dew. I think when you go to the
I don't
Storehouse Bakery. All right. All right. Remember that Central Place also has a space for rent right here where we're broadcasting the Good Place Marionville podcast. Downtown at the intersection of Washington and Central, we've got an office available for rent that includes your electricity and your internet and everything that you need, including a shared conference room. If you're looking to grow your business and get out of your living room, give us an email here at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com.
Just a quick PSA worth repeating. If you are missing a car that you might have taken to Pendleton's, the new owner, Jeremy Stevens, has 4 cars that are unclaimed. Drive by and see if you recognize one.
I think I saw
What other
maybe
name?
one of them moved, but that red
Awesome.
Lexus has been there forever. All right.
Okay.
Okay. On September 24th, we're going to begin an 8-week study, really helping you to figure out, who did God create you to be? What did he create you? What did he create you to be doing? And what's your next assignment? It's called Identity and Destiny right here at Central Place. The cost is $22 just to cover the cost of the book. Registration is required because our size is limited. For questions, this email is at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com.
All right, some really neat cemetery news. They received a very exciting phone call from Washington, D.C. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs approved a marble military headstone for Civil War veteran Oliver H. Pierce. And they're going to look forward to getting that set in the spring and have a ceremony on Memorial Day.
That is very cool. Sergeant Major Oliver H. Pierce, 14th Illinois Infantry, July 16th, 1838 to December 7th, 1917, battled at Shiloh, Atlanta, Vicksburg, and Sherman's March to the Sea.
Pretty amazing. I want to continue to ask you to mark your calendar the week after Applefest. Invite your neighbors, have a potluck. It is Good Neighbor Week in the state of Missouri. And so do something good for your neighbors.
Check out the website,
Yes.
MissouriGoodNeighborWeek.com.
I'll put the link in the show notes.
All right, Applefest is here. It starts, and we start setting up. Well, actually, the carnival's setting up right now while we're recording. It's getting real.
It's good. It's good.
Jim, how many years have you been part of the Applefest committee?
I have been involved in Applefest for 4 years. This will be my 4th year coming into it. We kind of walked in, Pam Keith, she asked me some suggestions, what we could do. And I said, you need a good PR person to go around and shake hands with people and just be,
Signed you up,
he said,
didn't she?
okay, there you are. You do
Perfect.
it. So that's what I've
Great.
been doing.
So,
Shout out to Pam Keith.
so what is your
Yeah.
favorite part of Applefest?
I love just talking with people.
Mhm.
I'm a people person.
Mhm.
We drive the little cart that takes people all around. Our church sponsors that.
Yes.
And
For
I just
parking.
have, yeah.
Grab people and bring them
They'll
in.
go
close.
all the way out, as far out as they're parked. We'll go find them, take them out there.
You sure your favorite part's that some sort of food, Jim?
Well, no, really, I have changed my eating habits, and but
It's
yeah,
the
the fellowship
fellowship.
with people. I
Okay.
love people,
That's awesome.
and just talking with people, getting to know them, finding out their story.
So if you're coming to Applefest, look for Pastor
Yeah.
Jim. He'll have a good chat with you.
Get ready to tell me your story.
There are a ton of details. We just need to highlight
All right,
them.
church
So-
service Thursday night downtown at the
Yes.
square,
Yes.
6 to 8 p.m.
And Friday it opens at 10 and Saturday it closes with the fireworks.
All right. There'll be over 100 vendors selling crafts, food, a free carnival, the Kids Zone. Friday PM, the Golden Delicious Beauty Contest.
Speaking of contests, there is pie eating contest, White Squirrel, Snow White,
White
Johnny
Squirrel what?
Appleseed.
We don't
They
even
can
know.
look it up in the book.
Okay, all right, it's in the book.
Husband calling, sexy legs, apple dessert entry, where you can actually bake your dessert and bring it in, get judged on. Marionville Idol, Marionville's Got Talent, and of course, we end it all with the fireworks by Clayton.
Clayton, we're so grateful for you. Hey,
Yeah.
T-shirts are on
Yeah.
sale at City Hall and the Bank of Billings, or get them at the info booth during Applefest. Everybody should have the latest Applefest T-shirt.
All right, and here's my shout out to Kathy once again for designing the beautiful Applefest booklet that so many already have. Make sure you have your copy, you know the schedule, you know what's happening, and read the articles. There's some beautiful
There's fabulous
honoring of citizens and pageants from years past and things like that. And you can have the White Squirrel contest where you look for it in the book and enter into the contest. So Jim is holding it up there.
And
Thank
look in
you.
the centerfold and
Oh,
come
yeah.
see us at the Lions Club booth right in front of the Central
Shameless
Place
plug.
and get a free bottle of water.
Yes, there's several booths doing that.
All right.
And what I like about this book, it's not ends next week.
Yes.
This book has businesses in here, people that support Applefest, like on the back, Smart. They're on there. We've got a full page in there. Several churches, Alpine.
It has a shelf
oh my
life.
goodness.
So
Yeah.
That's right.
you
It'll
utilize
go.
the organizations that support it.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to wrap up today's episode of the Good Place Marionville Podcast. A special thank you to our sponsor, the Bank of Billings. Thank you for showing your support of all the good happening right here in Marionville. We've got a space for one more major sponsor of the show. Consider becoming that sponsor by contacting us, really, Martha, goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com.
Thanks to each of you that contributed good news this week, including Renee Lawrence. I forgot to give you a shout out. Thank you for your Manor news. Remember, just email me at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com.
Thanks for joining us on the Good Place Marionville Podcast. Keep your eyes out for the good, and together we can celebrate Marionville.
Yes.